All right, so if you didn't watch my first video of my little introduction, that's completely fine. But if you want to catch up on who I am, you can go ahead and do that. But for today's video, I wanted to get into my strategy and what I use. Again, so open to any comments or anything that anybody wants to share with me to help me out. But this is what I trade and I found to work. So I trade the 5-minute breakout plus retest fair value gap. Okay, so what I do is the 15-minute opening range breakout with a 5-minute breakout with the retest of a fair value gap. Now, I didn't trade today just because I wasn't on the charts this morning, but this is literally a perfect example of how this works. So this is today, right? There are some steps that I look to here that I will put in here so we can look at those. Let's see. So what I would do is step one, I would mark out the highs and lows from the opening 15-minute range. Okay. Two, go to for a breakout. Once there is a breakout, wait for a retest of a fair value gap. Enter the trade in the same direction that the breakout occurred. Okay, let me move this up so it actually fits in here. Okay, so I want to move these up a little bit so they're not in the way. So again, I didn't trade today. Today would have been an amazing example of how this strategy works. But here we go. Let's see. Move this down so it fits in there. There we go. Okay, so first thing you're going to do, right? Wake up, get on the charts. You look at this 930 candle, right? This is the 930 candle right here. So you're going to go mark out the highs and lows of this candle. So here's a 930 candle. You include the wicks. So what I like to do is I put this on ray, horizontal ray, bang, there's the low, bang, there's your high. Okay, so once you completed that, you go up here, right? Mark out the highs and lows from the opening 15-minute range. Done, right here, highs and lows. Next thing you're going to do is go to a lower time frame to wait for a breakout. So as soon as I mark these out, immediately my chart goes to 5 minutes. Now, you don't have to do it that way. Some people trade this with the 1 minute. Some people trade it with the 3 minute. I trade it personally with the 5 minute because I felt like when I did it with the 1 minute and the 3 minute, I was getting faked out a little bit too much. But again, if you go to the 1 minute on this, right, you would have had something similar, right? Come down, break, and back up. So you would have won on today with the 1 minute as well. Sometimes you just get a little, touchy with the 1 minute and you try to enter a little bit too quickly. Personally, that's not for me. So I wait using the 5 minute. So look, you're watching, okay? Bring down, out, right? So now, where is the brush? Here we go. Now, right, you are outside of the zone. You broke out. Another thing you want to look for is make sure these breakouts are with some strength, right? You don't want little doji candles coming out, right? You don't want your candles to look weak coming out. You want it to be a strong breakout, right? So there's your breakout. Go to a lower time frame, wait for a breakout. Here it is, right? Price gets chopped up a little bit here. Cool. Once there's a breakout, wait for a retest of the fair value gap. So here's your breakout right here, okay? Breaks out, and then it pulls back down, okay? This is where you're looking for your fair value gap. If you don't know what a fair value gap is, you can leave it in the comments below, and I will make a video on it. But essentially, this is where your fair value gap is. Some people even would mark it here. Personally, I keep it a little bit open and mark it here. Okay, so look, here's your breakout. Let's get rid of the ray, right? Here's your breakout. Here is your pullback, retesting the fair value gap. After it retests the fair value gap, you get your break higher, okay? So there is the exact move that you're looking for, okay? So I'm going to erase these, right? And you can watch it in real time. Okay, so what you would do in this, right, is as you see this, you go long, right? You're taking your trade the same direction that the breakout occurred, right? So if this broke out high, like it did, you're waiting for retest, you go long. If this would have broke out low, retest, short, right? So if it goes high, you're going high. If it goes low, you're taking the low. So here, right, comes down, touches the fair value gap. You would enter here. Let me get closer for you, right? This would be your entry point. As soon as you see that next candle flip up, there's your entry. I'm putting my stop below the wick of this candle as well as right where that fair value gap is ending, probably right about right here. And then I usually target a 2-to-1, but in this instance, I'm targeting these highs from before, which ends up being around a 3-to-1 ratio. Now, again, would have hit today, and that would have been a great day for trading this breakout strategy that I do, opening range breakout. Let's see. We can go to a different day and test and see how it would have worked. Obviously, last week's a little slower because it was Thanksgiving, especially right the super flat price action. But let's go to the 26th and see if it would have worked. So you're going to mark out the highs and lows. Where's the 930? So you find your 930, right? Here's your 930 right here. Let me zoom in so you can see. Now, sometimes it doesn't work. That's why I'm showing this example just blindly, right? I'm just going through these and showing them blind because sometimes it won't work and you just won't trade that day. And that's just part of, learning the strategy. So you're marked out, right? Sharp move out, okay? Now what would have happened here, right? You got the sharp move down, right? You're out. You wait for the retest of a fair value gap. There you go, right? Testing this gap. Now you would have took your trade here to come lower, right? So essentially, in this instance, I'm always targeting a 2-to-1. So my stop would have been above that wick, right? You're coming down. In this instance, right, that's a very tight gap, and you would have still profited off this trade. So still would have been a decent trade here. But yeah, you could have even targeted these lows if you wanted to, which is probably a more reasonable target for this. Even though the 2-to-1 hit, I probably would have had a 4-to-1. As soon as I see this candle get bought up here, I'm out. Okay. So you would have hit the 2-to-1 there. So again, right, worked on this day. Let's do one more day, and then we'll call it good. Let's see. I'm just going to pick a random day. Let me get rid of these so they don't stay in the charts for you guys. Okay. Let's just go to the day. Was this the day before? Yes, it is. 15 minutes. Okay, right? Get your array. 9:30 candle. Bang. And bang. Okay. Switch to the 5. Okay, so wait for your move up. This would have been a failure. Oh, wait. Sorry. That's not the right day. Where's the right day at? Is this the Tuesday? Yeah. Whoops. Okay. So, in this instance, right, you probably would not have... I think this is the same trade. Let me go to a different day. My mistake. Let's go to Monday. Price action is always a little funky. How about we go here? I don't know why I had that circled, but it's something. Very strange price action here as well, but we'll check it out. There we go. Okay. So come here, 9:30. Where are we at? Right here. Right, pretty tight range. Change to the 5. Go over to that trade. Okay. So here we go. Right, gets chopped around a little bit. Strong breakout here. Let's get the brush out. Strong breakout right here. You would have waited for the retest. Here, the gap, nothing, right? Bad trades, you wouldn't have taken this today, which again is perfectly fine. This strategy, I forgot to mention in the beginning, not only works on NQ, which is what I trade on, but it also works on gold. I know some people do this on other things as well, just regular stocks, but I do this usually on NQ or gold, but you can do it on a lot of different things. Okay, but usually I use NQ or gold. So that kind of explains the strategy that I use whenever I'm trading this. But there's a lot of different things, right? There's some flaws to the strategy as well, right? You're not going to win every single time, which is why I also use my own tracker that I made in Google Sheets that I'd be glad to show everybody, that shows you how you mark things out, as well as your win-loss percentage when doing it. I found that I have about a 73% win-loss whenever I'm trading this. But again, this takes a lot of patience. You're up early in the morning, right? Right at 9:30 to get ready to trade this. And then you might have to sit for a while, especially if you're doing it on the 5-minute time frame, which some people prefer the 1 or the 3, because you might get into the trade a little bit quicker when it comes to that time. Okay. So that's what I do with my trading strategy. I will be open to any questions or anything in the comments, but that's kind of how I do it. I'm thinking I might do another video before next week starts where I go like really into depth with the strategy. I just wanted to kind of give like an outline of what I do for this video. Okay, so again, any questions, put them in the comments. Anything you want to add or helpful, or you have any insights with how to trade this even better than I do, let me know, and I'd be grateful for the help. I will see you all next video. Thank you.